Stangibelisco here, proprietor and operator of amateur radio station W1GV, Whiskey 1, good, vibrations. And have I got some good vibrations for you, and some cold ones too. It's called a cryogenic loop antenna. What does cryogenic mean? Well, that basically means very cold. Very, very cold. As a matter of fact, this entire assembly, small loop antenna meaning less than a tenth of a wavelength, or approximately a tenth of a wavelength in circumference, a tuner to match the low purely resistive radiation resistance of, well, not necessarily purely resistive, but to match the low impedance of this small loop to 52 ohms for coax, which then goes to the radio. This will work fine for receiving under any circumstances, particularly if you have a preamplifier along with the tuner. But for transmitting, it's always very inefficient because the radiation resistance of this loop is so low that any loss at all, even a fraction of an ohm, will degrade the efficiency to the point where it just doesn't work. That's why you can't use, for example, a coil of wire like a loop stick that you would find in an old AM radio receiver in a transmitter and expect to get anything but a cooked loop stick. You will not get out any power to speak of over the air, but you would if you had the proper tuner and enclosed this entire assembly in a chamber filled with liquid helium. Liquid helium, the coldest known substance, only a few degrees above absolute zero, would make all of the conducting wires in this loop antenna into superconductors, meaning that they have essentially zero resistance. So that would eliminate the loss caused by the low radiation resistance of this antenna and eliminate losses that would be inevitable in the tuner. It'd have to be a pretty big enclosure, but you could maybe you could use a loop stick antenna instead of a small loop here and get it even smaller, as small as, say, a bread box filled with liquid helium sitting on your operating table. Well, you don't want to run very much power or you'll expose yourself to RF beyond specified limits, but put it away from your person a little ways and make sure that that liquid helium keeps itself sealed and cold, and voila! You have a miniature, highly efficient transmitting antenna. Do you think I'm kidding? Well, I guess the answer to that question is yes and no. No, I'm not kidding. It theoretically will work. But I guess, yes, I probably am kidding. At least kidding myself when I think that it would be practical. Nevertheless, theoretically, you could have a very small antenna radiate a very big signal. And there you have it. The Stangibelisco antenna of the day. Signing off for now, saying 73, which means best regards in ham radio jargon, and so long, which, in my native language, of course, means da-da-da-da-da-da.